So go ahead and take a comfortable position, a relaxed but alert posture, your hands in your lap, your feet on the floor, your back fairly straight, and tuck your chin in just slightly. Feel that. Stretch the back of your neck and align your head in balance on top of your neck. And your spine is balanced and extending out of your hips. And you feel your hips settling into the seat. And kind of picture that there's a pebble at the very top of your head, and you feel it settling down like a pebble in a stream through your forehead, your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. Your attention keeps following it down. And as you do, your neck relaxes, your shoulders relax. You feel your chest opening and relaxing. And it finally comes down to settle in that spot in your belly, just a few fingers widths below your belly button. And you feel your breath coming from your belly. Your belly is soft and relaxed, and your attention is settled in that spot just below your belly button. And you take your attention now and turn it back onto yourself as it rests there in your belly. You turn it on to your breath as your belly rises as you breathe in and falls as you breathe out. You feel that breath filling your body, entering through your nostrils as you breathe through your nose. You feel the somewhat cool air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs and being drawn down into that belly that remains soft. You feel that strong diaphragm drawing the breath down. And then as it falls, you feel it expelling the breath from your lungs. Take one opportunity with this next breath to just push the last bit of breath out of your lungs, as though you're kind of hugging your midsection. And then that breath returns. And now you let yourself breathe normally and naturally. Again, following that belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. You let your awareness take in the full length of your body with that ability that you have to tell if you're seated or standing or lying down. You're aware of the fact that you're sitting as you breathe. And there's kind of that humming going on in the background of your thoughts and your emotions. You're aware of those, but not fixated on them. If you get lost in a thought or a feeling, you pull that attention back to the breath, not excluding anything, not excluding those thoughts or feelings, but just coming back to that breath. From one breath to the next, giving your full attention to it. Your belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. As though your attention and your breath are like a thread that follow from moment to moment through your life. Your attention allows you to thread that needle of your breath, continuing to follow, putting one breath after another, like on a necklace, like beads on a necklace, each individual breath. Again, as you keep bringing your attention back, watching your belly rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. If it's helpful, you can note to yourself breathing in as your belly rises and breathing out as your belly falls. That can kind of help to occupy that part of our mind that likes words and likes to describe things. But you may find sometimes you can just feel, just sense with your body that belly rising and know that you're breathing in and your belly falling as you're breathing out. Seeing how many beads you can put on that string, one breath after another, as you focus on that breath. And once again, if your mind wanders, you find your attention going to thoughts, feelings, or maybe even an itch or a pain. You're aware of it, not pushing anything aside, but you come back to that breath. That breath that continues from moment to moment through our life. That breath that sometimes comes quickly when we're frightened or excited, comes deep and long when we're peaceful or tired. It's always running through life. There's a story told of a meditation teacher who was showing someone how to do mindfulness and saying, you need to be aware of just how precious each breath is, to be following it as though it's the most important thing in the world. The student was quite full of themselves. They said, oh, I've already got that. And the teacher said, yes. And they were sitting outside, and he grabbed him and took him over to a rain barrel, dunked his head under the water for a moment, and then finally pulled him out as he was beginning to gasp for air, and said, now are you really aware of how precious that breath is? We take that breath for granted sometimes. But each individual breath is precious. And we can guard it and care for it. One way to do that is just to not take it for granted, to be aware of that breath. To be grateful for the fresh air that we're given, for the ability to take that breath deeply in. And for that miracle of not only breathing, but being aware of that breath, of being able to really feel it, to feel that belly rising as we breathe in, falling as we breathe out, taking as much air as we're able in that breath, with the awareness, as we were discussing, that sometimes when we're sick or tired, we can see how we need that air and we may not be able to draw it all in, but we're still grateful for each breath we can have. As long as we have in each moment that miracle of breathing, we know that we also have that miracle of being alive and being present here. And we might think sometimes it's boring to watch that breath. But it wasn't boring for that student with his head in the rain barrel. It's not boring when we're breathing an excited breath over some good news or any kind of surprise or joy. There's some real joy and pleasure in just following that breath. I think of it sometimes as like the feeling of being on a swing as a child. We go forward as we breathe in. We reach that peak, like the peak of the arc on a swing. And then we start to breathe out and fall back. And there's that feeling on a swing when we reach the still point again at the back of the arc. And we can feel that in our breath too. There's that still point when we've breathed out the last breath. And after that pause, we feel our lungs start to breathe again and fill with air. Our belly rises and the cycle begins again. We're pumping forward as we pump with our legs to swing and fly upwards. And then we free fall backwards as we feel we're falling, as our belly falls too and we breathe out. Then comes that pause again, and with another burst we go forward. That breath leads us forward from moment to moment, keeps us going, keeps us turning, like the way we turn on the bar of the swing as the chain rocks back and forth. That joy that we feel when we're doing that is that same joy that we can feel that we have just as we breathe, that joy in being alive and rising and falling, in watching all that passes under our feet, the grass, that sand in the rut that's been worn under the swing. In the same way, we feel ourselves moving forward in our life as we breathe in and breathe out. That joy and pleasure of the breath. That joy in feeling ourselves alive. That breathing is a miracle, and that very fact we're alive is a miracle. So we continue to give our attention, to Give our focus to this very life in front of us. Breathing in as our belly rises. Breathing out as our belly falls. A breath that's always there at hand always lets us connect to the fact that we're living and alive, that we're in the midst of this life. As we watch our breath and we let it harmonize with our body, it puts us in touch with these bodies that we live in. All of those parts of our lives. The way our breath comes fast when we're scared or excited. The way it may slow when we're tired, or really being present with a friend or a lover. That slow and deep breath when we're doing something with another person and we feel our breaths come as one. We see how intimately our breath is connected to our thoughts and our feelings, and connected to others and to the life that we live in and our life that surrounds us. How a beautiful sunset can slow our breath. How a full moon or a shooting star can take our breath away for a moment, having it come fast. That breath that comes from deep within our body and deep within our life. Always there at hand as a way to connect to our life, to ourselves, and to others. You can always take that moment to follow that pebble down through your body, into your belly, and to rest there as you feel your belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. Grateful and joyful for each new breath that comes. And the real mystery is, with each breath out, will there be a next breath? When we see that that's not guaranteed, how could we want anything but to be fully present in whatever breath we're given, to be fully present in this life while we have it now, to give all we have to give to our breath and to others. So take 3 deep breaths, savoring each breath as you take it in. And as you go forward this week, pause when you can to really feel that breath, to be grateful for it and take that pleasure in it whenever you have it, as you thread that needle of your life with that breath and with your attention. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes.